No, I don't think that data by itself has changed. I think the reason you asked the question is because we're now talking about big data, and some people give us the idea that big data is very different from old data, small data, little data. Don't really know what the real word is, but we're still processing words and numbers and dates and images. We've been doing that for many, many years. It's just that we have more of that data. I think that the big difference is more in how we use data. Well, I think it has changed in many ways. If you look at what we used to do with data in the old days, we would have dashboards and reports. But if you see at what companies are trying to do right now with data, data science, for example, look at how popular that is. That is a different style of data usage. We also have customers with applications on their mobile phones accessing our systems. That's another form of data usage. We have edge analytics in the more technical environments. Of course, we've had self-service BI. There's so many different styles or forms of data usage. Big difference with the old days. I think the difference is that the classic data warehouse architecture was really designed and is optimized for these more classical forms of data usage. Now we have the new form, so we need a different style, new architecture. Yeah, one that is capable of supporting data science, edge analytics, all the forms that I mentioned. And that architecture has to be a lot more flexible, a lot more dynamic than the old architecture that we're all used to. I think that's the big difference. It's agility and it's dynamic. Yeah, I think all the changes in the data warehouse environment are driven by what's happening in the boardrooms of our organizations. I think everyone knows this. What we see is that C-level management is becoming more and more interested in digital transformation, in data-driven organizations. And these are not just lame words. They mean something. They mean that those companies want to do more with data. And that has an impact. Well, the benefits of data virtualization technology, if you have an hour, I can spend an hour on that. If I would name the most important ones, or the ones that I hear most often from customers, I think agility, flexibility is definitely number one. The ability to change specifications more easily and to define new specifications more easily, that's a big benefit of this technology. Another advantage or benefit is the fact that because we use data virtualization, you have this decoupling of the data consumer and the data producer, and which allows us to make more changes on the data storage and the data production side. So if we want to move a database to the cloud, it's easier. If we want to migrate to another database platform, it's easier to do. So we're less dependent on the technology that we're using today. I would say that's an important one. And then a third one that I'd like to mention is the fact that it allows us, so data virtualization technology allows us to build, let's say, newer systems with very small steps. Not very risky, just small steps every time we sort of deliver a report. So instead of having these mega projects where the business has to wait a year, 1.5 years before they see something, we can deliver something in just weeks or months. Right, yeah, that's a worry a lot of people have when they look at data virtualization for the first time, because it's virtual. Is the performance acceptable? Well, what people have to understand is that data virtualization by itself doesn't have a performance. The performance is determined by the data source on which you run the data virtualization engine. So the performance is determined by that combination, data virtualization plus, let's say, the data source. So if that's a super fast database server, then you'll get the performance of that super fast database server. Well, there's one thing that I'd like to add, and it is that what I see, and it has taken the market quite a long time, but what I see is that finally the market is getting it. They're getting data virtualization. The products have been there for 10 plus years. It's only the last 4 years that people are really getting it, and that sort of pleases me.